Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pastor Warren Evans to the microphone to say a few words after the passing of rugby league player Archie Bruce.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is an emotional day for all of us as we stand here. Hopes and dreams are gathered when we think of a young man who played his first game at Toulouse, Archie Bruce, and died the following day. So right now, we'll just have a minute's applause for him, but also the emotions that ties in for each and every one of us to do with this place as well. Let's applaud him right now.
Comes Jake Webster, Ross Oakes and Ethan Ryan. The half-back partnership will be Joe Keys and Jordan Lilly. The forwards, James Green, Sam Hallas, Steve Crossley, Matt Staunton and Connor Farrell. At loose forward, it is Elliot Minchella. And on the interchange bench for the Bradford Bulls, Mikey Wood, Rhys Evans, Manny Wildy and Ross Peltier. John Keir's message this afternoon is, despite the emotion surrounding the last ever game at Odsal Stadium, the Bradford Bulls have to keep their focus on beating Sheffield this afternoon to keep alive their season. For the final ever time at Odsal, Jordan Lilly gets a game underway and his start is bounced on the Sheffield 10-metre line, and immediately Sheffield, in their all black strip, they will move the ball away from the Rooley Avenue terracing. Bradford will defend the South Bank stand in the first half. Odsal is packed, the atmosphere electric, and it is going to be an emotional afternoon, an emotional occasion. After 85 years of history, the curtain will come down at 5 o'clock this evening. Sheffield, a point above the Bulls in the table on 30 points. Bradford on 29. Bradford have to win at all costs this afternoon to keep alive their season. And Sheffield, they're on the last tackle, 10 shy of the halfway line. The kick comes in from Anthony Thackeray. It's dealt with by Jai Hitchcock's over on that far stand side. He's brought down 30 metres out from his own try line. Keys in at dummy half to Pickersgill. Pickersgill's brought down on the second tackle. We've had 50 seconds gone here at Odsal. Bradford now with first use of the ball. It goes from Keys. Keys out of dummy half, moving the ball along the line. It goes towards Ethan Ryan. Third tackle gone. He'll get up and play the ball. It goes from Hallas to Webster. Webster, the pulse 2. Bradford Bulls Man of the Year, as voted by you, the loyal listeners, plays the ball on this main stand side on tackle 4. Farrell's pass in centre field finds Pickersgill. The referee, Billy Pearson, this afternoon, he says that has gone forward. A huge controversial moment early in this game because Corey Makelum, the Sheffield Eagles fullback, he was drawn to Pickersgill. Minchella was on the inside, and if that pass is allowed to stick, Minchella opens the scoring inside 2 minutes under the post. Pulse 2 scoreboard with 2 minutes gone. Bulls 0, Eagles 0. Scrub to Sheffield just inside the Bulls half. Damien Irving.
Yeah, very nice start to the game there from the Bulls as the loose ball just comes out to the right of the Sheffield defence. Bulls looking good line speed here in defence. It's their first real set to get some dominant tackles here on Sheffield Eagles. I expected Sheffield to start the quicker of the two teams, but certainly it's Bulls that have come out of the blocks there in that first set. Very promising.
We'll keep you up to date this afternoon with all the latest scores taking place. The big one, of course, at Mount Pleasant. Batley against Featherstone. Bradford and Sheffield know they have to win this afternoon to keep the season alive. And here come the Eagles, moving the ball with Aaron Brown. Brown looks and finds Rory Dixon. He's going to be brought down on the fourth tackle, 25 metres out from that Bradford Bulls try line. In there at dummy half is Burns. Burns has seen his pass knocked on by Joel Farrell. And Joel Farrell, he's not happy that he's come up with an error. And he has kicked the ball out of the stadium. Well, I say kick it out of the stadium because of Odsal's vast size. It's not even cleared the pitch, but it will be a scrum head and feet to the Bradford Bulls. 2 errors apiece here at Odsal Stadium, and it is still 0-0. Halifax leading Rochdale 6 points to 0. 7 minutes gone at the Shea. It's still 0-0 between Batley and Featherstone, and it's also Lee 0, York 0, and Widnes 0, Swinton 0 because of Barrow suffering that heavy defeat in Toronto last night. Widnes are safe for 2020. Barrow and Rochdale have been relegated from the Betfred Championship. Here at Odsal, Bradford have the ball, 15 shy of halfway from the scrum. On tackle number 1, Burns comes racing out of that marker line defence. Referee urging the Eagles back, and Hitchcox will get to his feet and he'll play the ball. Inside the Bradford half now, through Matty Staunton. Matty Staunton rolled over on his side, gets to his feet, and James Green's lost the ball now. Perhaps, Damien, what we've seen in the opening 4 minutes, we've now had 4 errors, 2 each again. A bit of nervousness, the emotion of the occasion.
Oh, definitely, Mick. There's been a lot going on pre-match here. Since the warm-ups, there's been a line-up there, the opera singer. There's been a lot of ceremony going on. I think both sides have just got a little bit caught up in the occasion there, and some untimely and uncustomary errors, has to be said. 2 forward passes, a very simple knock on there from James Green on the third tackle, hitting it up as a 1 out. So we expect to see both teams to settle down a little bit here. The key is, when you're not hanging onto the ball, just try to limit scoring opportunities. So this defensive set will be very important for the Bulls.
Sheffield Eagles just inside the Bradford half. Good movement between Walker and Thackeray. Good cohesion, but Jai Hitchcox, he races up and he will bring down Josh Guzdick on that far stand side in front of the packed popular terracing here at Odsal. Early chance here for the Sheffield Eagles. As the Eagles now 30 metres out, it goes to Thackeray. Thackeray looks for support. He's lost the ball in the tackle, and that's another error from the Sheffield Eagles. And the referee, Billy Pearson, looks to the touch judge. He's going to say scrum and feed to the Bradford Bulls. A third error then from the Eagles. We've not had 5 minutes on the clock. A bit of an error-strewn start to the final ever game at Odsal Stadium. John Keir will take that one. And John Keir, as he said, Damien, quite rightly, the narrative this week has been about the Bulls leaving Odsal Stadium, but the main focus for the Bulls is keeping the season alive.
It is, and there's no excuse not to today. A very settled squad, a couple of minor changes here, but a team that deserve to be knocking on the door, if not in the playoffs, on their form and on their hard work given. They'll be a little bit disappointed that they're just not quite locked in a playoff position yet, and it's out of their hands. So very much in the case. And to be fair, the way they're set up here now with Jordan Lilly, a nice wide defensive line set, they're looking very likely here, the Bulls, if they can just get some possession. And Sheffield Eagles will be very disappointed as well. They've not completed sets, just the one completed set from either side. This early certainly says exactly what you said there, Mick. A lot of nerves, a lot of sense of occasion here, which just isn't coming up with the best rugby league at the moment, as the Bulls make it to their kick though on this set.
They're on the last tackle, 30 metres out. Jordan Lilly puts a high hanging kick. That one's been dealt with there by Corey Makelum. He scored a try at Wembley last Saturday evening in that 36-18 win over the Widnes Vikings. And the Eagles, unbeaten in the last 5 outings in all competitions. They won the inaugural 1895 Cup against Widnes. They won the second half, 24 points to 0. They need to win today, just as the Bulls do. And they're moving the ball 30 metres out from their own try line. An early try at Ealing Trailfinders. It's London 0, Leeds Rhino 6. Sheffield offloading the ball out of the tackle. Tackle not completed as it's offloaded from Walker to Thackeray. Thackeray's brought down 5 shy of halfway. The sunshine now coming behind the clouds as Greg Burns goes out a dummy half, and he will take the tackle there as Matt Staunton has to come out of that defensive line along with Sam Hallis. They're on the 4th tackle now. Kick comes through early in the kick from Anthony Thackeray. Thackeray's going to find touch over in that far stand side. Brandon Pickersgill just happy to let that one roll out of play. Scrum head and feet to the Bradford Bulls. We've had 6.5 minutes gone here at Odsal Stadium. Pulls 2 scoreboard, Bradford Bulls 0, Sheffield Eagles 0. Damien Irvine, we're still seeing a really nervy, jittery start from both sides.
It is, although that was a very tidy set from Sheffield Eagles, it has to be said. Thackeray guiding them around the park, just punching it there low into the Bulls' corner at the end of the set. A really tidy set, and Bulls going to have to cart that out now off their own line. Some good yardage being made on the edges. Jake Webster's been key again, as he has been all year, as he's taken the first hit up again, coming out of their own end. He needs a hand there. The wingers and dummy half work needs to be a bit sharper from the Bulls, just to get them to go forward. As we see Oaks, I think it is, just be tidied up there. They're not quite getting the yardage out of their own end, the Bulls they'd like. It looks like they might well be kicking from inside their 40 yet again, Mick.
Ethan Ryan will get to his feet and play the ball. 25 yards out from his own try line. Hallis picks it up out of dummy half. He will take a 2-man tackle from Makelin, and also Ben Helliwell, the former Bradford Bulls Academy product, as James Green gives the Bradford Bulls a bit of momentum. They're up to halfway on the last tackle. Hallis to Keys. Keys kicks on the last, and he will find touch on the far stand side. And just like Brandon Pickersgill was cool, calm and collected over on the far stand side, Ben Blackmore was happy to let that one just go into touch, and that'll be scrum head and feet to the Sheffield Eagles inside their own 20-metre line. We've had 8 minutes gone here at Odsal Stadium. The Bulls, as the curtain comes down on their home since 1934. It's still 0-0 between Batley and Featherstone, and it's still Halifax 6, Rochdale 0. They're the only points in the championship so far this afternoon. Yesterday's result, Toulouse 42, Dewsbury 14, and it was Toronto 62, Barrow 8. Here at Odsal Stadium 0-0 as the Eagles move the ball up to the 30-metre line. Burns is in there at dummy half, misses out Farrell. Along the line it goes, forward pass from the Eagles, and that is a 4th error now from Mark Aston's side, and Bradford will have a scrum 40 metres out from the Sheffield line. Pulls 2 scoreboard, 9 minutes gone, Bulls 0, Eagles 0.
Yeah, Sheffield Eagles pushed the Bulls and spread them wide there down the left-hand side, and it was a tap-on pass, which was adjudged to go forward. He was pretty flat, maybe just on the forward side there. Although the writing was on the wall, they did get outside the Bulls in the play. One-on-one with Jake Webster there was created. A little bit of danger signs down that short side there for the Bulls, their right-hand edge defensively. Both coaches have been a little bit happy. That first 6 minutes was quite hectic. A lot of errors, few completions. 2 good settling sets from both sides there to get to their kick. But as I said, with that error coming out of their own end, it's now the Bulls that are on the attack as Sheffield came out with the error, and the Bulls have got the left-hand side spread out here that he tacks on.
It goes from Hallis to Keys. Keys takes that Sheffield line on. The 10 metres out now. 2 tackles remaining in the bag. Hallis to Green. Green to Michella. To Lilly. It goes to Farrell. Another forward pass picked up by the officials. And the referee now will turn that to a penalty. I think someone said something. So the first penalty of the afternoon goes to the Sheffield Eagles. 10 metres out from their own try line. Bradford were just about to spin the ball from that centre field position over on this main stand side where we call the action, and the referee Billy Pearson, he was not happy with something that's been said there. So Sheffield, they'll tap the ball 10 metres shy of the halfway line, and it will be Ben Helliwell. Helliwell brought down in a 2-man tackle by Crossley and Farrell. Burns in at dummy half, gives it to the Jamaican international Joe Farrell. It'll be certainly feisty and fiery out there on the field when Farrell and Peltier are out there together. Makelin, Pat Walker to Thackeray. Thackeray's brought down inside the Bulls half, 45 metres out, just to the right of centre field. Still 0-0 between Batley and Featherstone. Sheffield looking good with Blake Broadbrent. Broadbrent, a big strong carry. He will carry the Eagles up to the 30-metre line, just to the right of centre field. Still 0-0 here. Thackeray kicks early. Pickersgill's in a little bit of danger. Pickersgill puts his body on the line, and Pickersgill dives on the ball just inside the field of play, but Bradford now in a real difficult position as it goes out of dummy half there from Oaks to Hitchcox, and Hitchcox will take tackle number 2 for the Bradford Bulls on their own try line. They're looking for the big men, they're looking for the forwards, the Bulls. The Eagles haven't pinged on tackle number 3 inside their own 10-metre line in front of the South Bank stand. That's the hospitality end here at Odsal Stadium. Ethan Ryan carries it in. Tackle number 4, they're 15 metres out from their own try line. Hallis now goes out of dummy half, makes 10 metres, 10 valuable metres. He's brought down on his back on the 5th and last. 25 metres out from his own try line, and a penalty to the Bradford Bulls. on the fifth and last tackle. That's a coach killer for Mark Aston, Damien Irvine. The Eagles have done exceptionally well, and then comes the brain fart, and the whole Hallis down in the tackle, and they've given away a repeat sack.
Wow, up until that last tackle infringement, that was an incredibly good set of defence from the Eagles. They're compressing very tightly. You can see the game plan there. They decided to get good kicks in, which Thackeray has, and get the Bulls on the defence. And the Sheffield Eagles are compressing their defensive line very tight and rushing the line. They restricted the Bulls on the fifth tackle just over the 20-metre line there, and it was going to be very tough.
Oh,
here
come the Bradford Bulls with Joe Keys. Joe Keys towards the line. Keys still going. This will be a sensational try. Joe Keys, individual brilliance from 50 metres out. He opens the scoring for the Bradford Bulls. And Joe Keys, in what has been a difficult 2019, the revelation, the resurrection. Bradford lead 4-0 here at Odsal. Sensational. Mazy footwork. He took on the entire Sheffield Eagles defensive line. 4-0.
What a finish from Joe Keys. Thoroughly deserved, as you said there in the call, Mick. He's worked very hard this year. It's been a tough year for him, and that try really puts the icing on the cake for him. He'll love that. It all came from that fifth tackle error. It's a game of inches, a game of decision making. Eagles had won the battle there, territorial battle. Defensively, they had the Bulls really on the ropes. The Bulls were going to have to kick coming out of their own 20-metre line, but they infringed. They held him down just that little bit too long on the fifth tackle. Bulls got the penalty. First set coming out of the line, coming out of the tap. And it's Joe Keys has just opened them up. He showed poise. He was through the gap. He could have pinned the ears back to go to the left-hand edge, but he came right around. A good turn of pace from Joe Keys. He's one of the better halves in the competition. There's no doubt about it. And he's just absolutely solidified that today, as he's going to be the one lining up the conversion here. What a start. A really good start for the Bulls there. 14 minutes gone, and Joe Keys looking to convert his own try.
Pulse 2 kick predictor says Joe Keys had a 63% chance of sending this one over the red, amber and black dot from this main stand side. Keys, it's just going to creep in there, and Bradford Bulls lead 6-0 this afternoon on Pulse 2. It's still 0-0 between Batley and Featherstone. On the messages, Susan and John Mann say, come on you Bulls. From Fort William, Jason Conway, sad to see Odsal go, let's get that final win. And Barbara says, very sad today, 48 years of Odsal, my daughter was carried up the slope after every game. Keep your messages coming in on the Pulse 2 app. It is free, it doesn't cost you anything. And here on Bradford Bulls Live on Pulse 2, the Bradford Bulls leading the Sheffield Eagles by 6-0, and they are keeping their playoff dream alive here. On the restart, they're outside the 20-metre line. Hallis is in there at dummy half, comes on this main stand side. Webster was calling for the ball, he'll just take the tackle on the 40-metre line, and Webster now moves in at dummy half. He's looking towards Lilly, gives the ball to Lilly. Lilly comes on this main stand side. It was a bit of a decoy play, and he will carry the Bulls on the halfway line on tackle number 4. One tackle remaining on the restart. Hallis now to Midchella. Midchella gives it to Staunton. Staunton on the angle inside the Eagles half. He'll be brought down by 3 Eagles defenders, and Matty Staunton, upper body strength, carries Bradford 35 metres out. On the last, it goes to Keys, and we're going to see some more Keys magic. Keys passed the ball to Pickersgill. Pickersgill knocked the ball on, and Bradford will turn over ball 15 metres inside the Sheffield Eagles half. We've had exactly 15 minutes gone here on Pulse 2 this afternoon. Mick Gledhill, Damien Irvine, Joe Keys, wonder try. I tell you what, Brooks in the studio, I've already picked my try of the season for the end of season highlights we're doing. Brooke, I might be calling you at half time. I think we might be putting that Joe Keys try in, because that was sensational. Sheffield now moving it from the play the ball. It was on the last tackle, so no need for a scrum, and they're up to the halfway line. Burns is in there at dummy half, fires it towards Blackmore, the former Halifax man. Ben Blackmore floats the ball back to Burns. Burns, quick fast hands to Aaron Brown. Here goes Brown. Brown's 25 metres out from the Bradford line, and here come the Eagles. They're moving it out wide to Thackeray. Thackeray's kick goes through. The Eagles, they've bombed a try, and Pickersgill saves the day. He has palmed the ball over the dead ball line. He was put under immense pressure from Josh Guzdek, who was chasing on that far stand wing touchline, and Pickersgill concedes the dropout. Here at Odsal, a repeat set for the Eagles and Mark Ashton in this top 5 shootout as Batley 0, Featherstone Rovers 6. So the Featherstone have just taken the lead at Mount Pleasant, but the Eagles, they're looking to put the Bulls under the pump here and get their first points of the afternoon. Goal line dropout quickly taken by Lilly. The Eagles up to the Bradford 20-metre line. It goes to Fakhri. Fakhri looks to Walker. Walker takes the tackle. They've got to stop those little decoy runs, those offloads, the Bulls here. Green in defence along with Farrell. Burns out of dummy half now. Back it goes to Brown. Brown finds Fakhri. Fakhri back to Blake Broadbent. Broadbent's brought down on the third tackle. There's 2 tackles remaining here for the Eagles. 15 metres out, centre field position. Fakhri, a short delayed pass there, and the Eagles are brought down on top of the Bulls line. 4th tackle gone, 1 remaining here at Odsal. The Bulls having to defend on the line. Greg Burns tries to pinch one out of dummy half and he's held up. Good scrambling defence there from Brandon Pickersgill and Elliot Minchella. They put their body on the line, and Greg Burns, he'll go back to the 10-metre line. Bradford 6. Sheffield 0. The Eagles on the last tackle. 10 metres out. Fakhri to Walker. Walker kicks through for Farrell. Farrell's in. Joel Farrell. He will silence this record crowd at Odsal. And the Eagles have hit back. It was a great little kick through there. And Farrell, he read that one. He regathers the ball between Ryan and Webster. And it's 6 points to 4.
It's been all based around Fakhri, the Sheffield Eagles, when they have gotten down this end of the Bulls. However, they forced a repeat set there, which was a very tidy kick in from Fakhri. They've come through Thackeray's hands, though, on the left-hand side this time, through to Walker. Walker, the big number 6, carried the ball to the line, and a beautiful little bit of skill to get the ball down on the grubber kick, and was beautifully picked up just on his outside to score a very, very tidy rugby league try there. What it came about was mounting pressure as their second set on the bounce there, and the Bulls didn't do too much wrong there in defensively there, but when you get a really well-executed kick, ball in both hands, on the run, very hard to defend against, Mick. You can't take the ball player, you can't turn and burn quick enough to get back and cover up. So great play there from Walker, and he's going to look to convert the try, which he's set up now, just to the left of the uprights here. What's the predictor say, Mick?
Pulse still kick predictor at 74%. Pat Walker's hoofed it, and that one has gone horribly wrong. That one just goes right in front of the post and veers off to the right. Bradford still leave here this afternoon on Pulse 2, and it is Bradford Bulls 6, Sheffield Eagles 4. Joe Keys trying the 13th minute has just been cancelled out by that great read from Joel Farrell. The kick come through from Anthony Fakhri, and that was telepathic as Farrell picked up the ball and slid over the line between Ryan and Webster. 20 minutes gone here at Odsal.
It looks to me that Sheffield are playing a right to left tempo here in attack, Mick, and what I mean by that is they're doing their yardage plays. They're looking for their repeat sets and their yardage plays down the right hand edge. That's where Thackeray's going to get the kicks in behind. But when they're looking to attack, when they're looking to break the line for points, they're pushing and switching very quickly to the left. They fancy themselves better to break the line on the left-hand side of the Bulls. So they're setting up the play, if you so to speak, on the right-hand side, doing all the little things, getting the yardage on the right. When they're looking to break the line, they're punching to the left as quickly as they can. It nearly worked for them very early in the game when that first pass was called, and it's worked for them there when they got the repeat set.
Sheffield Eagles on the restart. 15 shy of the halfway line here. Bradford 6, Sheffield 4. Ben Blackmore will be brought down on the third tackle. Here goes Burns. Quick play the ball. Out of dummy half. He fires it over on that right-hand edge. And the Eagles inside the Bulls half on tackle number 4. 6-4 here at Odsal. Burns out of dummy half to Brown. Brown towards Broadbent. Broadbent brought down on the 5th and last tackle on the 40-metre line. 40 metres out, centre field. It's going to go once again to Fakhri. Fakhri's kick's being charged down by Staunton. Staunton has got the ball. He looks to the referee, and the referee says that was okay. Anthony Fakhri appealing for a knock-on there from Matty Staunton, but the ball played the man. You're allowed to do that. It's in the rule book. And Hitchcock's moves on a lateral run towards the centre of the field. He'll play the ball on the halfway line. Hallis now to Lilly. Lilly to Farrell. Farrell inside the Eagles half. He gets attention there from Broadbent and Burns. And he'll get a quick play the ball. And here goes Hallis straight down the hay. Diddle. Hallis is brought down 30 metres out. in a centre field position. Minchella's in there at dummy half, fires it left towards Keys. Keys with some strike, gives it to Staunton. Staunton's lost a little bit of ground, and Bradford are on the last tackle, 28 metres out from the Ruley Avenue terracing. They're on the last tackle. Keys gets the nod from Hitchcock's. Hitchcock's chasing this, looking to put a bit of pressure under Josh Guzek, and he will take the ball under pressure, and he will take tackle number 1 for the Sheffield Eagles, 10 metres out from his own try line. What did that set of 6 tell you about the Bulls, Damien, with 18 minutes to go to half time?
It lacked a little bit of confidence. They did okay there, but the kick towards the end on the short side was not really, it didn't put too much pressure on the Guzek, who did take it well, just a little deeper than I think Joe Keys would have liked there. It was a bit of a nothing play. It's all going to depend on this set of 6 really and how they defend it, because Sheffield Eagles are making quite a few yards here. Burns is doing a great job at dummy half and just pinching metres right and left of the ruck. And as we see now, they've found their way right down into the 40-metre line of the Bulls, and the kick will come.
Last tackle, the Eagles drill the ball into touch out of dummy half from Greg Burns. Ironic cheers there from the Bulls faithful. I'm not quite sure what that game plan is. It takes away, Damien, basically where the enthusiasm from the Bulls, and we know that Pickers girl, Ryan, Hitchcocks and Webster, they've got that great kick return, so clearly both sides have decided this is going to be a tactic we're going to see all afternoon, kick to touch and stop those attacking threats.
I think Burns wanted more length on that kick than he got. He's found touch on the 20-metre line. But they showed their hand, didn't they, Mick, 4 sets ago? They're playing a compact defensive line and really trying to wedge the Bulls down their end into that quarter. As Lilly pokes his nose through here and just finds a bit of yardage, they're really trying to jam the Bulls in here in defence and make them play out of their own end. That's a tactic.
Jordan Lilly was disliked the mounds, peeking his head through the hole to see if the cat was there. A half break, and he was brought down in a 2-man tackle. Bradford are on the halfway line now with James Green. Green yet to score a try here at Odsal this season. He's currently on the naked run, so they're going to try and put James Green over the line. I heard the pre-match debrief. Oh, such hilarity. Hallis finds Steve Crossley. Crossley goes down the middle. Last tackle for the Bradford Bulls, 30 metres out. High-hanging kick. It's got a bit of a spin on it. They've made a hash. Nearly picked up by Lilly on the inside. Great take there from Corey Makelin. And Makelin now wins Sheffield Eagles' second penalty of the afternoon. And the referee has penalised the Bradford Bulls for being inside the 10. 2 penalties apiece here. And that is going to see the Sheffield Eagles advance forward via the boot of Pat Walker, who scored 3 tries at Wembley last week in that 36-18 win over the Widnes Vikings. It's going to be quickly taken by former Dewsbury man Josh Guzek. And Guzek, former Hulkeston Rovers pedigree, come through the Hulkeston Rovers Academy. He'll play the ball 5 metres inside the Bradford Bulls half. And we've got 16 minutes to go to half-time here at Odsal Stadium. It's a real tight, nervy, tense one. Bulls 6, Eagles 4, as it goes out of dummy half from Burns to Brown to Walker to Fakhri. A bullet pass caught there by Helliwell as the passes start to stick here for the Eagles. It's Batley 0, Featherstone Rovers 16 at Mount Pleasant. So it's looking like the Bulls season in terms of the top 5 could end this afternoon, but so far so good. The Bulls are keeping up their side of the bargain. Menzieri, who didn't feature last week, has just come on and he's brought down 20 metres out. They're going to kick early in the they're going to kick early in the set there from Pat Walker, the former Batley man who John Keir had at his disposal when John Keir was the head coach of Batley, and that one was dealt with by Ethan Ryan on this main stand side. Jake Webster's brought down on tackle 2, 15 metres out from his own try line. Pickersgill takes the 3rd tackle, and now Jordan Lilly out of dummy half sees Bradford given their 3rd penalty of the afternoon, and that's a 4th penalty now because somebody has given dissent to referee Billy Pearson. So 2 quick penalties, and Lilly's going to find touch on this main stand side. Just see where this one goes into touch. 30 metres out. The Bulls have a good field position here. 14 out from half time. Taken by Webster. Webster to Crossley. Crossley's brought down, 20 out, tackled up a run, rolled over in the tackle there by Farrell and Sonny Esselmont. They move it back on the main stand side as Wildy's just come on the field. And Wildy's brought down 12 metres out in front of the Sheffield post. Penalty awarded by referee Billy Pearson. That's 3 penalties back to back to back for the Bulls in front of the post. The message from John Keir is keep the pressure. They fancy the chances of 4 points, potentially 6. Minchella, the vice-captain of the Bulls. An emotional afternoon for him. He will take tackle one in front of the post. Play the ball. Wilde to Lilly, to Webster, and Webster's in! Jake Webster! He gets across the Sheffield line. Try number 9 of the season. And the Bradford Bulls pulse 2, man of the year. He takes the Bulls out to a 6-0 lead. It is 10 points to 4.
Yeah, look, a very set play there. Jordan Lilly found his man too wide of the ruck. Jake Webster, 10 metres out, early in the tackle count, very hard to defend on one-on-one. He hit the advantage line, great collision, and he found his way over, reaching out. Sheffield Eagles will be disappointed. The initial penalty down this end, and then the penalty also for talking back, found way too much of a piggyback for the Bulls, and they got early possession, an easy possession down on the Sheffield line. That was right away from the game plan Sheffield Eagles have bought here so far. And Aston will be very disappointed in that, the coach, with 14 minutes to go. They've really come in with a game plan to punch the Bulls down that end through a kicking game and then defend and defend. Both times they've attempted that, and it's come off quite well early in the count. They've released the pressure valve with penalties late in the count. That's been the difference for Sheffield Eagles, and points have come at the end of it. From a Bulls point of view, they did have an attacking set a few sets ago back down on Sheffield Eagles, and it was disappointing. A bomb went up from Keys. Pickersgill was offside on the chase when he should have been first to the ball, and it was called off from the referee, which is disappointing, and it was diffused by the Sheffield Eagles fullback. And then the timing, as we see, Joe Keys has converted that to go 12 points to 4 ahead now, the Bulls. The timing is just a little bit off for the Bulls in attack. They've had a week off there, Mick, and they're just not quite as fluid as they'd like to be. That said, they've got enough in them, one-on-one physicality-wise, for people like Jake Webster to really make a difference, and Steve Crossley has been dinting the advantage line all day long. The halves, Lilly and Keys, have been absolutely outstanding today. They really are taking charge and dominating the halves from the Sheffield Eagles side.
Joe Keys, second successful conversion of the afternoon. Down the second surge, second phase from the Bulls arrives with Steve Crossley. They're on the last tackle on the restart. Lilly plays it off Meadows, and that is still the last tackle, says the referee. The ball goes to Webster. Webster's going to be held in the tackle, and the referee says that will be a changeover in possession. The ball played the man. Ryan Miller was fortunate to react quickest and stop Webster from offloading the ball to Ethan Ryan on this main stand side. 11 minutes to go here at Odsal Stadium. In the Super League, London 0, Leeds 12. It's Wakefield 0, Wigan 10, Batley 0, Featherstone 24, Halifax 20, Rochdale 0, and it's 6 points apiece between Leigh and York at the Leigh Sports Village. Bradford inside the 10, offside. Penalty count now 5-3. And Pat Walker says he's going to find touch on this main stand side, just inside the Bulls half, which he does. Difficult to tell which way the wind is going in this first half, as it always seems to do here at Odsal. It seems to come in through the old window left from the quarry, and I think it's just about favouring Sheffield in this first half. Joe Farrell's going to take tackle number 1 inside.
Big play to the right here, Mick. Sheffield have been talking. They've got a set play on.
Sheffield 15 out, move it on that right-hand edge. It goes to Meadows. Meadows is brought down 5 metres out in a free-man tackle. Wilde goes for the legs. Danger here for the Bulls. 10 minutes to go to half-time. They're going to move it with Brown. Brown up to Walker. And they're brought down 5 metres out once again. 10 metres in from that far stand side. The Bradford Bulls defence doing well. It's going to go to Fakri. Fakri to Meadows. Meadows to Farrell. Farrell can't get past Farrell. That's Connor Farrell on Joel Farrell and Jordan Lilly. They've lost a little bit of ground here of the Eagles. They're down by 12 points to 4. Meadows kicks through early in the count. Webster read that one well, and Webster carries it up to the 10-metre line for the Bradford Bulls before he's brought down in a 2-man tackle, led there by Aaron Brown. Webster gets to his feet, play the ball. Lilly straight out a dummy half. Small metres gained, 5 metres in fact. 15 out from their own line. Third tackle gone now with Jai Hitchcocks, and Hitchcocks is brought down outside the Bradford 20-metre line. It's Bradford 12. Sheffield 4, Keys and Webster the try scorers in the first half here at Odsal. Wilde towards Farrell. Connor Farrell gets a huge leg drive going. Farrell makes 20 metres forward there for the Bradford Bulls, and he'll play the ball 5 shy of halfway. And here goes Wildy. Wildy's out of dummy half. Passes the ball on the inside to Mikey Wood, who's just come on. Michela kicks it forward. Josh Guzdick averts the danger, but the referee says the pass went forward. Everybody calm down. We're coming back to a scrum to the Eagles. 15 metres shy of the halfway line, and that is only Bradford's third error in this first half. 32 minutes gone here at Odsal Stadium. It's Bradford Bulls live on Pulse 2. It's Bradford Bulls 12. Sheffield Eagles 4.
Great dummy half play there from Wildy, just a little bit too enthusiastic. He broke the line very, very well. Just forced the pass to the left when perhaps going to ground and getting the play the ball was on. But gee, he provides some marvellous impetus coming on there at dummy half. His form this year, his interchange with Sam Hallis at hooker has been one of the features of the Bulls' year.
Great to see so many supporters in the main stand wearing shirts from yesteryear. Bradford Northern, Bradford Bulls. Just looking at the shirt and the year, bringing back so many memories. Bradford have to defend this set of 6 from the Eagles. They're just growing in a little bit of confidence here since James Meadows has come on, the young scrum half from the London Broncos. It goes out of dummy half from Brown. Brown to Walker. Walker to Menziere. And Menziere makes valuable metres for the Eagles, albeit on a diagonal angled run, and he's 25 metres out from that Bradford try line. Here goes Meadows. Meadows now can't get past Webster. Webster wraps him up, pushes him back with Lilly and Farrell, and that was befitting the final game at Odsal. That was like a throwback to the 60s and 70s in the mud here. The Eagles, they're on the last tackle. Under pressure, Pat Walker, high hanging kick. Pickersgill takes that one from the clouds, and Pickersgill fancies a mazy run as Ross Peltier comes on the field, and he is calling for the ball, but it goes to Ethan Ryan, and Ethan Ryan returns it up to the Bradford 30-metre line. Lilly in at dummy half, and the referee gives the Bulls yet another penalty. Pat Walker and Rory Dixon, they were laying on in the tackle on Jordan Lilly. Penalty count now. Bradford 6, Sheffield 3, and the Bulls have 7 minutes remaining in this first half. They can perhaps get their third try of the afternoon. It's still battling 0. Featherstone Rovers 24. I suspect Featherstone going down the slope in the first half. I'll certainly try and find that out at half time. All is not up for the Bulls. Here goes Peltier, his first carry on his final ever appearance at Odsal Stadium. And Ross Peltier, 26 years of age, the Jamaican international, carries the Bulls 30 metres out. Now it goes to Lilly. Lilly on the inside to Webster. Webster 20 metres out. 3 tackles remaining here for John Kerr and the Bulls. 6 minutes remaining on the clock. It goes to Minchella. It goes to Keys. To Lilly. Out to Oakes. Oakes is brought down. 10 metres out. 2 tackles remain. It goes from Lilly to Staunton. Staunton using brute force. Staunton inches away from that Sheffield Eagles try line. Hitchcock's at dummy half to Keys. Keys takes the Eagles line on. That's the last tackle. The danger averted. The Bulls don't kick. They're just happy to turn over the ball in good ball position. 5 metres out from the Eagles line, and with 5.5 minutes remaining here at a blustery Odsal Stadium on Bradford Bulls live on Pulse 2. The Pulse 2 scoreboard says Bradford Bulls 12, Sheffield Eagles 4.
Yeah, a bit of a flat end of the set there. The Bulls is trying a little bit too hard. They're in attack, Mick not letting the ball do the work. Noticed we got Minchella sliding into first receiver there on the left with a long back line out, just maybe cramping the outside backs a little bit. But again, 12 points to 4 at half time. Bulls will be happy with that, although I think it's probably not a true reflection. Would like to have seen maybe a bit more of a margin on Bulls. They'd like a few more points here, considering the way that they finished the back end of this half. Eagles now.
Sheffield Eagles with Anthony Fackery. He looks for a willing runner, finds Menziere. They're on the last tackle. 2 metres shy of the halfway line over on the far stand side, and that is where the ball will go on the last to Pat Walker, and Pat Walker will turn around the Bulls and Brandon Pickersgill inside the Bradford 20 metre line. It is London Broncos 0, Leeds Rhinos 16, Wakefield Trinity 6, Wigan Warriors 10. It is Batley 0, Featherstone Rovers 30. So Featherstone 5 tries in the first half at Mount Pleasant.
I hope it's a big slope, Mick.
Well, you know Mount Pleasant. It is about 14 feet in total. Halifax beating Rochdale 20 points to 0. Lee 6, York 8, and it's Widnes 8, Swinton Lions 10. I think next season they're going to be called the Manchester Swinton Lions, so that's going to be an interesting fixture to look out for. Here come Bradford then from the scrum. It's Connor Farrell. He's like a dog off the leash in the park, and he's lost the ball. And now Sheffield have picked it up. Forward pass. He's gone into touch as Ryan Miller on this main stand side. Ethan Ryan tracked him down. Referee says no advantage. Scrum to Sheffield. My opinion, the advantage was played there. The officials have got that one wrong. And now someone said something to the referee, Elliot Minchella, just questioning the referee. And I'm not saying what Elliot's done is right, Damien, but Sheffield have moved the ball 20 yards laterally towards his main stand side, and the free play rule doesn't exist anymore, and he's decided, the advantage wasn't taken.
Yeah, look, I think you're right on that, Mick, although I would say I think it's justice done because I don't think the pass was forward. I think he threw it backwards out of his hands anyway. It's a big looping pass, very easy to call it forward, and a lot of the crowd saw it here as that. But I think Eagles probably deserve the ball here, and a very important set for the Bulls here defensively, as Minchella's come from inside out. Looked like a flat ball at best again on the inside. Minchella's tidied it up, but Sheffield Eagles now move it to the right, 10 metres out.
Down the middle they go with Menzieri. 2 tackles remaining here for Mark Aston's side. The trail, 12 points to 4. It goes from Walker to Dixon. Dixon's held up on top of the Bradford line. That's tackle number 4. 1 remaining here for the Eagles. Brown's in at dummy half. Brown fires it to Walker. It goes to Fakhri. Fakhri over on that right-hand edge. Good defence as Pick's picked off there. That's the last tackle. Quick play the ball. It goes to Fakhri. Fakhri drills one along the floor. Bradford do exceptionally well. Was it Jordan Lilly? It was Elliot Minchella. And there's a bit of pushing and shoving here. The referee, slowly losing control of this, is going to stop the
Elliot's
clock.
in trouble
and
here.
He wants a word with Elliot Minchella. Ethan Ryan now protesting with the referee, and the touch just come on from the far stand side. Well, it looked like...
He was ready to play the ball, Mick. I think there was a bit of push and shove, but Elliot didn't want to seem to let it go. I think the ref might just be saying to both of them, settle down here. I hope he doesn't blow a penalty against the Bulls. He might just be calling out the ball player and the marker. Elliot Minchella was the ball player. And just say, look, settle down, guys. There's no need for that. Hopefully he won't give a penalty either way.
Well, we've got 2 minutes remaining in the first half here at Odsal, and the referee, Billy Pearson, is just having a word with Elliot Minchella and Pat Walker, and just saying, like the headmaster, catching the children messing around in the playground, behave and calm down. 2 minutes remain. Play back on here as Bradford move it over on that far stand side. They're 20 metres out from their own try line. Wild is in there at dummy half. Gives it to Ross Oakes. What a season Ross Oakes has had in 2019 as he gets to his feet and plays the ball on the third. Minchella now to Lilly. Lilly out to Ryan. Ryan's caught there by Helliwell. Good defence from the Eagles, and Meadows comes in for good measure. They're certainly dealing with the threat of Ethan Ryan on this main stand side. Farrell out a dummy half. Webster calls for the ball on the inside, but Farrell's brought down on the last tackle. 10 metres shy of the halfway line on the Bradford 40 metre line on this main stand side. Wildy in centre field to Lilly. Invention from Lilly. Lilly chips ahead. Ray Gathers. Lilly has been caught high. The referee still says play on. It's the last tackle. Pickersgill kicks from inside his own 40 metre line. He's at a 40-20. No, it's not. They do exceptionally well there. Josh Guzdick, he had to race clear and pick the ball up. And with 37 seconds remaining, the Eagles have lost the ball. And here come the Bulls. But the pass has been intercepted from Farrell. And the referee's going to stop the clock. 27 seconds remaining. This will be scrubbed to the Bulls. We're going to have a bit of a late finish here.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, it's left to right there, all sorts of play there. I don't know what ruling he's come up with here. He's called the initial knock on. But certainly the Bulls opened up there and could quite well have gone ahead and score. I did look a high shot of Lilly as he chipped and regathered beautifully here on the right edge.
23 seconds remaining here. Bradford from the scrum, 30 metres out from the Eagles line. Can they get a crucial third score before half time? No, they won't. Farrell's lost the ball on contact from Brown and Walker. Farrell pushes Walker, And I think the referee and the players, they just want half time here. Farrell and Walker pushing and shoving at the scrum. The hooter about to sound. There we go. That is half time at Odsal. The referee points to the dressing rooms and the dugouts. Difficult to describe that first half, Damien. We've seen two moments of brilliance from Joe Keys and Jake Webster, but at times it's been a bit of a scrappy affair, a high error count, a high penalty count, and here we go. Connor Farrell has just been sent to the sin bin after the hooter for showing dissent to referee Billy Pearson. I've never seen anything like that, Damien. He's gone after the hooter. The Bulls just need to calm themselves down. It's an emotionally charged Odsal Stadium, and the Bulls, they're leading by 12 points to 4. The last thing they need is players in the bin.
That is exactly the type of ill discipline that will really rile John Keir up. The side's done very well under tough circumstances here, highly charged matches, you've said. Sheffield Eagles have displayed fantastic qualities here at Rugby League, and they've brought it to the game, to the Bulls, to really rustle their feathers. They've played a defensively led game, which has frustrated the Bulls at times. They've held down to the ruck. Yes, plenty of times the Eagles have been penalised for it, but they're playing very much a defensively led game. Bulls have been frustrated here. They've only got the 12 points out of it. They're not looking as fluid in attack, but they still look the better side. There's no doubt. There's no need for losing that ill discipline. We saw it flare up there in the ruck with Elliot Minchella.
Bulls are in a situation where Andrew Chalmers has to take the club not only away from Odsal Stadium but out of the city of Bradford due to those crippling, debilitating occupancy costs. A couple of people have been asking me about the Bulls in special measures and what the Bulls have to do to be released from special measures. As I said on the Robbie Hunter-Paul show, which I hosted on Wednesday evening, the Bradford Bulls have two options. Andrew Chalmers shows the RFL proof of funding that he can fund the current wage levels, or they have to let backroom staff and playing staff leave, trim the wage budget, and then the Bradford Bulls will be out of special measures. So here we go. The Bradford Bulls are back, and we're going to see an emotional final 40 minutes here at Odsal Stadium. The players trying to fight the emotion. They will certainly do what they can do, and as we said, those homegrown players playing this afternoon, players like Ross Peltier, Elliot Minchella, Ethan Ryan and Steve Crossley, it is extra special for them. John Keir knows that sentimentality will hang over this fixture, but Bradford in that first half, they know they have a job to do in their quest to get in the top 5 playoffs. It's going to need a bit of a miracle at Mount Pleasant with the half-time score of Batley 0, Featherstone Rovers 30. But all the Bulls can do here is just concentrate on themselves, and it will be Bradford who will have first use of the ball as Sheffield get the restart underway. And immediately Matty Wilde is brought down 40 metres out, centre field position. Minchella scoops the ball up with his right arm, puts his head down, goes towards the Sheffield line, inside the Sheffield half, and he's brought down 42 metres out from that Eagles line. Wilde goes down the middle with Mikey Wood. Mikey Wood's brought down on the 5th and last tackle in centre field. It's going to go to Keys on that last tackle, 30 metres out, perfectly weighted. That is going to be a difficult one for Ryan Miller. Ryan Miller takes that one, and has he even been tackled there? They're appealing for the voluntary tackle of the Bradford Bulls, and at long last, Hitchcock and Oakes bring Miller down just in front of this main stand side as Sheffield move the ball down the middle. London were trailing 18-0 at half time. They've scored at the start of the second half. It's now 18 points to 6 as Bradford defend on their own 30 metre line as the Eagles move it down this centre channel. Goes out a dummy half from Burns, who's back out there on the field, to Brown, towards Blackmore to Helliwell, and Helliwell somehow manages to keep the ball going, gives it back to Ben Blackmore. Blackmore's lost it backwards on the halfway line. Here come the Eagles, a half chance here for the fullback Corey Macklin, and Macklin's brought down on the last tackle, 32 metres out from the Bradford line. We've had 2 minutes gone at the start of this second half. It goes from Brown to Fackery. It goes to Meadows. Meadows kicked it to space behind Pickersgill and Ryan. Bounce of the ball kind for Pickersgill. Bradford playing towards the South Bank stand in this first half. They've got the wind behind them. and Lily now in at dummy half finds Ethan Ryan, and Ryan's brought down on tackle number 2. Ryan, 19 tries. This is his 100th career appearance this afternoon, if you include the 3 appearances he's had for the Ireland international side. Lily's going to kick early with the wind behind him, looking for a 40-20. He's got the distance, not quite the accuracy, and Bradford in this second half, remember, still down to 12 men with Conor Farrell sent off after the hooter, sent for the sin bin, I beg your pardon, and that was for showing dissent to referee Billy Pearson. We had 11 penalties in that first half, so it was a bit scrappy, a bit tetchy, and perhaps both sides realised, it was a very slim mathematical chance. But Featherstone, they've scored at the start of the second half. It's now 36 points to 0. So as things currently stand, the Bulls and the Eagles season will end here. But it is a celebration of old lady Odsal, and she's determined to have one final dance. Sheffield keeping the ball alive with Fakhri. Fakhri brought down there by Wildy and Keys in a 2-man tackle. 4th tackle gone here for the Eagles. The trailing 12 points to 4 after that fantastic try from Keys and that powerful barge over from Webster in that first half. They're inside the Bulls half on tackle number 5. 5th and last as referee Billy Pearson. It goes to Fakhri. Fakhri kicks it down towards Pickersgill. Pickersgill does well, keeps the ball from going out in a touch, makes valuable needles on that kick return, and he's brought down 12 metres out from his own try line. Oaks in at dummy half, goes to Hitchcox. Hitchcox is brought down in a 3-man tackle just outside his own 20-metre line, and it's still London 6, Leeds 18. 12 points apiece between Wakefield and Wigan at the interval. Halifax leading Rochdale 36 points to 0 at the share. Uzanar as Ethan Ryan is dragged to the floor. He'll get to his feet, he'll play the ball. Wildy to Peltier, gets it out wide towards Webster, and Webster, the Pulse 2 listeners, Bradford Bulls player of the season. He's brought down just shy of the halfway line. Wildy in at dummy half, back in centre field to Peltier, and Peltier gets the leg drive going, and he carries the Bulls inside the Eagles half. They're on the last tackle. Menzieri puts Jordan Lilly under pressure, and Jordan Lilly kicks that one out into touch, 10 metres out from the Sheffield line, and that will turn the Eagles around. We've had 5 minutes gone at the start of this second half, Damien, and it is Bradford Bulls 12, Sheffield Eagles 4.
Yeah, good start to the half for both sides. Bulls are playing very compact defensively, knowing that they are a player down, and Eagles have done very well to march upfield and take advantage and make the yards, but they've not come up with any points. The Bulls' main goal, number 1 priority at the start of this half, would be to get through the first 10 minutes of the player short without conceding, and John Keir will be very happy with that to date. As I just look here, the Stadia clock hasn't actually been restarted, Mick, so we might be guessing a little bit on time towards the end of the half. But Eagles now are working it out. They're really working the Bulls over tight from dummy half here, trying to suck in defenders in around the ruck, which will only exasperate that player short out towards the edges. So we see a very compact defensive line again now for the Bulls, 40 metres out as Sheffield Eagles working it to the right.
Fakhri to Blackmore. Blackmore's ball's gone behind him. Referee says that went behind and it was backwards. Hitchcock looks to the referee. So too Joe Keys appealing for a knock-on. Referee Billy Pearson looks to the touch judge and he says it went backward. Play on is the call. Mikey Ward, a great tackle there on Fakhri. Fakhri on his knees, manages to get the ball out, and Sheffield springing over on that far stand side, and here goes James Meadows inside the Bradford half. He offloads the ball. Good fast hands from the Eagles. Guzdeck, a bit of a hospital ball. That one's headed towards touch, and Sheffield are on the last tackle. 30 metres out. They just managed to apply the brakes there on this main stand side. Sonny Esselmont. They're on the last tackle. It goes to Fakhri. Fakhri against Pickersgill. Pickersgill takes it on his own 10-metre line. Growing in confidence and stature. The referee will stop the clock because a Sheffield player is down, interfering with play in the back play. That is Sonny Esselmont, and he's just getting a bit of strapping applied to his leg. It is London 6, Leeds 18, and Featherstone Rovers, they have just crossed for their 8th try of the afternoon. They now lead Batley by 40 points to 0. So Bradford's season and their hopes of getting in the top 5 are almost certain to end this afternoon, but they'll go to Rochdale next week, Damien, and it's all about building now towards season 2020, although there is a little bit of a cloud of uncertainty hanging over Odsal.
Look, I think the player you mentioned there who just came up with a very good take under pressure there, Brandon Pickersgill, is a great example of where the club's at the moment. Brandon Pickersgill was thrown into the fullback position when Ethan Ryan wanted to get back on the wing there mid-year, and Ethan Ryan was probably one of the form players at fullback, but he's naturally a winger. So they made the change back to Ethan on the wing. As here's Ross Peltier bullocking run up the middle. But Pickersgill will be looking towards next year. He's a very good championship level player. He needs to find a way to get to that next level, and he's been strong today under the hard ball. And this week and next week will be very much about just seeing where he's at for next year.
Bradford inside the Sheffield half. We're still looking for first points at the start of this second half here at Odsal. Sunshine shining down on Trevor Foster's piece of heaven on earth. Kick goes through from Worldy out of dummy half. He was put under pressure from Walker. That's dealt with the Eagles fullback Corey Makelin. And the Bulls still down to 12 men. We'll know exactly when we've had 10 minutes in this second half, although the clock has suddenly come alive and we've had 6.5 minutes. Sheffield 20 metres out from their own try line, over on the far stand side, in front of the packed popular terracing. Not had a crowd yet, but we know they'd sold over 6,000 tickets ahead of kick-off. The hospitality was sold out, so it's looking like it could be the highest league crowd of the season here at Odsal. The Eagles, 5 shy of halfway. Blackmore out of dummy half to Yeri. Yeri puts the fending on Peltier. Gets past Peltier. Offloads the ball. Finds the support of Brown. Brown's in open field. Meadows on his outside. And James Meadows will score a try for the Sheffield Eagles. It's game back on here at Odsal Stadium. The referee, Billy Pearson, points the finger. And it's 12 points to 8. With the Bulls still down to 12 men.
Ill discipline again. I think they're a little bit mick from the Bulls. Yeah, the reason they're down is obviously because of some talking back at the end of last half, and they're 10 minutes down. But just they're getting their eyes turned off the ball here a little bit. The Bulls from Eagles, a little bit of niggle, a little bit of in your face, and the Bulls are getting sucked into it. Wieldly after that kick chase. And the pass, he got held with the marker, and they had a little bit of a push and shoving back play, and they laid down, and it was all a little bit much ado about nothing. But effectively, it took Wieldy out of the play, and he wasn't playing the ball because he was too interested in getting into a little tete-a-tete with his opposition player. That's just discipline that there's just no need for, particularly when the opposition is scoring. You're already a man short, and they've come now within 2 points of you. Tough. So I just think the Bulls have got to concentrate on what they do best, and that is play good rugby league, not get sucked into the niggle. Sheffield have come here with a plan, and they've done that, and that is very much an in-your-face, quick, line speed, getting up and harassing the Bulls around the ruck, and they've done very well with that, and it's brought them points there early in this second half, albeit with a man advantage there for the Bradford Bulls, as Jordan Lilly's going to take the ball here and kick off. I expect to see the Bulls just try and get a good set in defensive here, and then when they get the first use of the ball, try and get a repeat somehow. Fine touch, get a repeat, and give Sheffield a little bit of their own medicine. Really start to dominate in defence here.
Well, here at Odsal Stadium, it is the Bradford Bulls 12, the Sheffield Eagles 10. Pat Walker getting his first conversion of the afternoon, and Bradford just a 2-point lead here now at Odsal Stadium as the Eagles on the restart. They're up to the own 40-metre line as Connor Farrell is about to come back out there on the field after his 10-minute spell in the sin bin, which will be coming up in 20 seconds. Meadows looking lively, flick on pass, here goes Miller. Miller's away inside the Bulls half. Lily body checks him, and it'll be Farrell who's just come on, and Ryan who bring him down on the far stand side. Meadows looking lively, as we say. Matty Wildy's knocked the ball on for the Bulls. That'll be 6 again for the Eagles. And here they go, the Sheffield Eagles. They're 30 metres out. The referee's missed that one. Last tackle here. Sheffield, they're going in for the kill with Fakri. Fakri kicks through. Pickersgill, bit of hesitancy. Pickersgill does well. Dives on the ball and takes tackle number 1 for John Keir. And the Bulls, with 29 minutes remaining here at Odsal, 12-10. 2 metres out from his own try line. Here goes Jai Hitchcocks. Hitchcocks is brought down on a bit of a 20-metre lateral run. Still 2 metres out from the Bradford try line. Yet to see a penalty in this second half. Perhaps someone's had a word in the ear of the referee. Webster plays the ball. Well, call it commentator's curse, commentator's luck. Ethan Ryan has been caught high, and Bradford have just been awarded their 7th penalty and the first penalty of this second half. 29 minutes remain here at Odsal Stadium. Bradford Bulls 12, Sheffield 10.
Over enthusiasm there by Eagles. They did have Bulls pinned down like the set they had in the first half, and they just were too enthusiastic to go on with it and infringed on the ruck now as the Bulls playing the ball out as Peltier over the 40-metre line now. Typical busting run there from Ross Peltier.
London Broadcast 10, Leeds Rhinos 18 on Pulse 2 this afternoon. Here at Odsal, Bradford looking for a third try. They're now back up to their full complement of 13 players. Lily goes on a mazy run, brought down 5 metres in from touch on the far stand side. They're going to bring it laterally back down the central reservation with Wildy to Peltier. Peltier is brought down by Menziere and Blake Broadbent in a 2-man tackle. Tackle remaining here for the Bulls. It goes to Minchella. Minchella with some great footwork. Minchella still going. Gives it to Peltier. Along the line. Rhys Evans is held up. Metre shy of the line. Last tackle for the Bulls. They've just come alive. Pickersgill to Ross Peltier, and Ross Peltier in the final of the game at Odsal, one of the homegrown heroes under John Keir. He will enjoy that one. Ross Peltier with try number 4 of the season. He now was 2-2. He was a try scorer against the Dewsbury Rams in that win in the last round, and the Bradford Bulls have restored their 6-point cushion. It's the Bulls 16, the Eagles 10, and oh my word, Damien, what about the build-up, the passing, Evans on the angled run? That was Bradford at the best.
It was. We'll overlook the 1.5 forward pass in the lead up to it, Mick, which led you to play the ball.
I never saw any forward passes.
You got to ride your luck, I think, and to be fair, that wasn't what led to the try. They had another play the ball on the back of that, and Ross Peltier, 10 metres out or within, barging on one wide of the ruck. I don't know there's many players in the championship that are that more difficult to stop than Ross Peltier on those terms. Perhaps Jake Webster, as we saw in the first half. Well-deserved try from Ross. He's had a very good shift today. He's really providing that go forward in the absence of Crossley there at times really well today has Peltier, and he's dominating the play the ball very, very well. As the kick there's been converted from Joe Keys. Interesting, as soon as that player's back on the park, the Bulls grow another level in confidence, and they've gone on and made the points to fight back after conceding there just towards the end of the sin bin period. And it's game on again, 16 points to 10 now. It's 18 points to 10, is that correct? Having converted that kick mix. So Sheffield Eagles are going to restart, and another big important set here for the Bulls. You'd like to see them go 2 for 2 and score again, as that kick, a short kickoff, has been retained by the Bulls.
Elliot Minchella reacts the quickest. He was under pressure from Joel Farrell there, and also Sonny Esselmont, the former Hemel Stags back rower, and the Eagles. Well, you're just thinking they might just start to become a little bit fatigued here, a little bit jaded after their efforts last week against Widnes in the 1895 Cup, as Pickersgill breaks clear. Pickersgill's brought down. Last grass tackle from Maitland. Maitland's all over Pickersgill. Referee says get to your feet and play the ball. Lily in at dummy half to Keys. Keys tried to pierce that Eagles defence for a second time this afternoon, and 18 points to 10. The Bulls on the restart are 15 metres out as Ross Peltier carries the Bulls in front of the Eagles' paws. Good field position, good ball. Wildy has options, and Ross Peltier, fresh after scoring in the farewell game here at Odsal, he has come up with an error, and that is Bradford's 5th error of the afternoon. So good completion thus far. We have 24 minutes remaining here as we approach the hour mark. We've had a try apiece Meadows for the Eagles, Peltier for the Bulls. The Bulls still leading by 8 points. It's 18 points to 10.
He'll be so disappointed in that. Ross Peltier. He's having a whale of a game, and I know he's working very, very hard with John Keir and the coaching staff just on those little bits of quality, the small little errors which can just take the shine off and probably just hinder him from being an elite player at the moment in the game, or Super League player. He needs to just stamp that out and be very disappointed in that. I tend to think, Mick, it might come with fatigue. We're 16 minutes into the half now, and Ross has played big minutes to get there. Maybe it needs to be look at a rotation. That 12-minute period, he gets fatigued and that little error comes. And there it is. He's just infringed then again at marker, as he's made a good tackle to get there. Good effort to get there. There's no doubt in it. But just the speed to get up off the play, the ball has been penalised again. I'd be surprised if we don't see an interchange coming up there now for Ross. And it's not through any other reason, just fatigue. He's a big man. He's got so much effort at the line there. He's from bustling runs. He's dominating. But those little 1%ers can affect you there. So it's going to be Sheffield now on the attack here. 40 metres out. Moving it to the right.
Sheffield awarded their first penalty of the afternoon, and they're looking to punish the Bulls for a bit of costly indiscipline there. It goes from Guzdeck to Blackmore. Blackmore fronts up in front of the Bradford post. Sheffield attacking the Ruley Avenue terrace in this second half, and Ben Blackmore under pressure from Mikey Wood and Manny Wilde. He's lost the ball. He's done the Ross Peltier. That's an 8th error for the Eagles this afternoon, and it's still London 10, Leeds 18, and it's Batley 0, Featherstone 46 at Mount Pleasant. Scrum to the Bradford Bulls, 20 metres out from their own line. They're leading by 18 points to 10. Bradford, no victory this afternoon, will put them in the shop window for a 6th place finish. That will give them around about an extra £30,000 in funding from the RFL. They will miss out on the top 5 as Ross Peltier, dangerous looking tackle, looked to be a tick tackle. We said it'd get a little bit fiery between Peltier and Farrell, but Peltier's going to leave the field. 15 to change in the afternoon as James Green comes back. And now there's more questioning here from Anthony Fackery. He concedes another penalty, and Bradford have the 8th penalty for laying on in the tackle. Lilly finds touch.
Oh, great kick.
30 metres out, 25 metres out from the Sheffield line. It's Bradford Bulls live on Pulse 2. Featherstone have discount 48 points to 0 in front against Batley. Bradford, quick tap penalty. Here goes Wilde. Wilde 5 metres out underneath the Sheffield Eagles post. The Bulls hunting a 4th try. Michella, Lilly to Green. Is he going to get himself off the nude run? No, he's not. He's brought back in the field of play. 3 metres out. Former Castleford and Hulkester Rovers man will play the ball. Lilly to Mikey Wood. Mikey Wood through a hole. The door was shut. He's held in the tackle. It's another penalty to the Bradford Bulls in front of the post. And the referee losing patience now with the Sheffield Eagles. He has a word with the captain, Pat Walker. They've just conceded 2 quick penalties. They're not going to go for 2 points on offer. We're approaching the hour mark here at Odsal. It'll be taken by Wilde. Goes to Minchella. The former West Bowling amateur is brought down 2 metres out. Wilde misses out Wood. Finds Keys. Keys goes behind Green. Could have been a penalty for crossing. Bradford living life a little bit dangerously here. Wilde now to Green. James Green. 6'4" of him, brought down 2 metres out. Wilde makes that side, goes to Keys. Keys goes through the gap. Guzdeck and Fackery wrap him up on tackle number 4. Bradford knocking at that Eagles door. Will someone open and say hello? It goes out to Wilde. Wilde to Minchella. The Bulls, great width here. Pip Kesgill, Evans, Ethan Ryan's in. The door's opened, and Ethan Ryan has try number 20 of another sensational Bradford Bulls season, and the Bulls make it count. Great width from Keys and Lilly, and Bradford 22 points to 10. Daylight here at Odsal. 20 minutes remain. 22 points to 10.
Well, James Green has come on like a man on a mission there in that set. It's rare to see a prop forward have such an influence.
He's trying to avoid the nude run.
Is that what it is, Mick? He's certainly hungry for something, because he's come off the bench and absolutely exploded into that set. And very, very quick, smart thinking, go to the right hand. John Lilly beautifully chimed into the back line was Brandon Pickersgill. You can see he's got experience in the halves there at 6 as well as at fullback. He slotted in at a beautiful angle there and made himself second receiver off of Lilly. Straight to his centre who tapped on out to Ethan Ryan. It's very rare you'll have a game here, a Bradford Bulls home game, that Ethan Ryan isn't on the score sheet, and gee, he finished that well. That was a crisp movement to the right-hand side for the Bulls, who, to be fair, are starting to find their rhythm and they're gelling now in attack after that week off last week. Very, very good try as Keys lining it up now. Kick predictor here, says Mick.
24%, but he's got to contend with a swirling wind. Joe Keys, this to keep up his unblemished goal-kicking record. That one's hit the left hand upright. The oohs and the ahs, the ecstasy and the agony. Keys, his first miss of the afternoon. And here on Bradford Bulls Live on Pulse 2, with 19 minutes remaining in the last ever game to take place at Odsal Stadium as the curtain comes down on 85 years of rugby league history and memories. It's the Bulls 22, the Eagles 10, and the Eagles back on the halfway line, feeling a little bit sorry for themselves. They've only themselves to blame, conceding those 2 quick penalties, and it's a bit of a shallow restart. The Bulls haven't dealt with it, but that's been knocked forward by Farrell. He had a bit of an open invitation there as Matty Wilde allowed the ball to bounce, and that is now a 10th error from the Eagles this afternoon. Scrum, head and feed to the Bradford Bulls, and it's on here between Farrell and Lilly. There's a bit of shirt grabbing, a bit of pushing and shoving. The referee is going to stop the clock, and we have a little minute fracas here. Both touch judges on, and I'm not quite sure why there was a bit of a blow up there, Damien, but the referee is just going to try calm things down, and I think he's going to stick with his original decision. No, he's not. Someone's going for 10 minutes. It's a Sheffield Eagles player. The Eagles down to 12. Open up the sin bin door. Goodbye, Joel Farrell. And Farrell now leaves the field. He's had a word in the referee's ear. And Billy Pearson, well, sometimes, Damien, you've got to feel a little bit sorry for the referees.
Oh, look, he's done the right thing there. I mean, he's been exceptional, to be fair. That's consistency. He showed a Bulls player the yellow card for dissent, at a tough time of the game. Very unusual for a referee to have the courage to send someone on half-time to the bin for dissent. He supported that now by doing exactly the same with Sheffield. We're not going to fall into the trap of our mates over at St Helens or wherever else they are and start blaming referees for stuff. That was a very good decision, consistent decision, and it's going to be Sheffield down, by 10 minutes.
Bradford then from the scrum up to halfway with Farrell. So we've had both Connor and Joel Farrell in the bin. Wilde now down the middle with Steve Crossley, who's come back on the field. Crossley leading by example. Last time out against Dewsbury, 39 tackles, no misses. Here goes Keys, Pickersgill, Hitchcock, Pickersgill on the inside. Pass has been disrupted, but it's been picked up. It's a sensational try. Indescribable rugby league. It was touched by Thackeray. It was knocked back towards the Eagles line. Oaktree gathered, and Pickersgill was on the inside. It's a 5th try for the Bulls. They lead 26 points to 10. Arguably, that was even better than the try from Joe Keys.
That's a really special try, and it was a beautiful piece. They set a block play down this left-hand side. Again, it's that man, Brandon Pickersgill. Yeah, he scored the try, Mick, but he made the try. He came down the short side, slotted in at first receiver. He was the man out the back of a block play just after halfway. They found the space down the inside. He positioned himself inside his winger, who just couldn't get the ball back inside, as you said, and a Sheffield Eagles player got his hands to it. But then it was followed up, collected by the Bulls again, and he stayed alive, Pickersgill. He was inside again to reap the benefits and take the offload and scored a very, very well-deserved try. He's a much better fullback when he's playing as a first receiver, Billy Slater style, when he's in there injecting himself as a 5'8", either side of the ruck. He's involved in the game. He holds the ball beautifully in both hands. He's a well-balanced runner, and he's a good support player, Brandon Pickersgill. And that's been All of that has been evidenced. I urge every rugby league fan, every youngster playing rugby league to have a look at the replay of that from Brandon Pickersgill's point of view. Just see how he stayed alive, how he made himself available, and how he created those points. Very, very nice play. As Joe Keys has just pushed that conversion effort out to the right of the sticks. So the score's going to remain 26 points to 10. A healthy lead now, and Bulls capitalising on being a player short. But that, as a training ground video, as a short side play, please have a look at that when you get an opportunity. Brandon Pickersgill in there at first receiver as a block play runner and doing a very, very nice job of it. Really good team try.
Bradford Bulls live on Pulse 2 here at Odsal Stadium, and it is a fitting farewell thus far. Bradford leading the Eagles by 26 points to 10, and James Green on the restart. He's carried Bradford up to the 20-metre line, and Bradford mean business here. And there's a sneaky suspicion we might see a blowout in the last 15 minutes. It goes from Wildy to Michella. Michella toying with Guzdeck, brought down 12 shy of the halfway line. Bradford probing forward with Wildy. Wildy goes towards Webster on this main stand side. Webster's going to be brought down in a free-man tackle. That's going to leave space out wide for the Bulls to exploit. Webster needs to get a quick play the ball away, which he does. Wildy now to Michella. Michella to Green. Here goes Green again. Green through. Inside the ball from Michella. Michella is going himself. Gets it to Farrell. Harlem Globetrotter stuff here from the Bulls, and the pass to Evans has gone forward. Oh my word, James Green. He's putting himself in man of the match contention.
I think what's happened at half time, he put the wrong jersey on. He's put on the number 3 jersey, James Green, and he's come out like Greg Inglis in this second half. He's cutting it through the edge. He's going through the fringes on the right-hand side, and he's a man possessed, Mick. You called it that he's yet to get off the mark and break his duck by scoring a try. He's a man possessed. Unbelievable performance.
It's now Bartley 0, Featherstone 58, Halifax 46, Rochdale 0. Lee 23, York City Knights 24, Widnes 36, Swinton 16, and Leeds have just scored, and they now lead the London Broncos 24 points to 10. It's Wakefield 12, Wigan 16. The clock has been stopped here at Odsal Stadium. There is an injury to a Sheffield Eagles player, and it's Bradford 26. Sheffield 10, tries from the Bulls, Keys, Webster, Peltier, Ryan and Pickersgill. Peltier, Ryan and Pickersgill in this second half. The Bulls.
I say that jokingly, Mick, about James Green. You know, we say it in jest, but for the listeners out there, it's quite a performance from him, the big front rower coming off the bench. We were here at another massive game earlier in the year where James Green played his best performance, in my opinion, in a Bradford Bulls shirt, and that was the Leeds Challenge Cup game. He was immense in that game. The vigour he carried the ball up with, the effort in defence, left, inside his shoulder, on the outside shoulder. He has got it in him to be a huge impact player as a prop forward, and he's showing that today. He is running like a man possessed. His collision is incredible. His technique is wonderful in defence for a big man to get down around the waist and make sure that he's covering that ball up. He's just had a fine game of rugby league. He was not alone. We talk a lot about imports in the game and value of players. Jake Webster again today is playing an 8 out of 10 game, as he has all year. And it's not the flashy stuff. This is a guy who came back from Super League club to play for a championship club. People might have said, well, what's he doing there? He could get another year of Super League. And people might have thought he was here to cash a cheque. He's proven everyone wrong. What a strength of character the man is. What a character and example he is as a rugby league professional. The work he does in the tough work, coming out of his own end. 2 and 3 defenders he's carried all day long. And I'm talking tackles, second and third tackle in the set, the really tough tackles to do. And he's scoring tries at the right end as well. Jake Webster, take a bow. What a performance today. And rightfully, in my opinion, voted by the Pulse 2 listeners as the Bulls player of the season.
13 minutes remaining here at Odsal Stadium. The Eagles, time back on, 30 metres out from the Bradford try line. Brown's in there at dummy half to Menzieri. Menzieri tries to punch a hole but can't get past Webster. And Keys and Green. Great defence from the Bradford Bulls. The sun shining down on Odsal. Fresh autumnal feeling in the air here. It goes to Fakhri. Fakhri's run is halted and extinguished. The Eagles need to score next, you feel, if they are to get something back from this game as they kick through. Chance here for Guzdeck. Too much on it. Guzdeck bounces the ball in goal. Tap on the 20 for the Bulls, although the referee is going to say Pickersgill was the last one to touch it, and the officials have got that one wrong, Damien, but we'll forgive him.
He has got it wrong. The touch judge was right there, and there was a half appeal there from the Eagles for maybe looking at a try.
Well, let me tell you this, and this is probably a bit of a, what's the word I'm looking for? A long time ago, I first started broadcasting with BCB and Mark Hobson, and the great Mark Hobson would have come out with something like this. If that's a goal line drop out to the Bradford Bulls, I'm an Olympic swimmer.
Look, it's great you mentioned, Mark, and the BCB and the broadcasters, that a lot of people have sat in these seats over the years at historic Odsal and will be feeling today being the last game. So well worthy of mention there, Mick. Congratulations on doing that, mate. It's timely, I do believe.
Hey, listen, I owe a lot to Mark Hobson. Me and Mark commentated for 3 or 4 years on the Bulls. Eagles now on that last tackle. Kick goes through. Penalty to the Sheffield Eagles. Offside. Referee says it's touched a Bradford hand. So they get their 7th penalty of the afternoon. 10 metres out from the Bradford line. And Steve Crossley's not happy with that decision. He goes over to the referee, and referee's not happy with that one. We've got 11 minutes remaining here at Odsal.
Really telling last 10 minutes here or so, Mick, in terms of where the heads are at the Bulls players. This team is playing for next year now, certainly, and they're playing for positions and contracts, and they've built a great platform this year. So it'll be really interesting to see what they do with these last 10 minutes, just to see where their attitude is at.
Here goes Josh Gudzek. Josh Gudzek takes the pass from Meadows. He's brought down by Joe Keys. Heading towards the touchline. Bulls had a little bit of ascendancy and momentum, but he's holding the brakes, and he's took the tackle 12 metres out. Blackmore's in there at dummy half. Blackmore scoops the ball up, gives it in centre field to Fakhri. Fakhri finds Brown. Brown goes on this right-hand edge, brought down by Keys. Good defence once again from the Bradford Bulls. The 10 metres out the Eagles. Burns in at dummy half to Fakhri, to Brown. Brown to Meadows. Danger here, but Rhys Evans and Ethan Ryan do exceptionally well, and they will halt the Eagles' charge. 4 tackles gone, 1 remain. Meadows kicks early. Too much on it. That's a tap on the 20, and here goes Brandon Pickersgill. Everyone in the main stand, they're saying run Brandon, and Brandon runs, and he's up to the Bradford 35 metre mark. 15 metres made on that 0 tackle. Lilly out of dummy half to Ryan. Ryan's brought down on tackle number 1 by Burns. The Eagles still down to 12 men. Ethan Ryan, though, adjudged to have not played the ball correctly. Bradford's 6th error of the afternoon, and this game is petering out. 10 minutes remain. Pulse 2 scoreboard. Bradford Bulls 26, Sheffield Eagles 10, and it's London 10, Leeds Rhinos 30. So London 2 tough away trips remaining against Hull Kingston Rovers on Friday, and then the following week against Wakefield. Jamie Langley and Danny Ward, you feel they will have to go to Hull and Wakefield and take maximum points, all 4 points, to stay up. As things stand, it's looking like the Bulls will be travelling down the M1 next season, and a trip to Ealing Trailfinders. From the scrum on the halfway line after that Ethan Ryan error, we have 9 minutes remaining. The final 9 minutes here at Odsal Stadium. Burns out a dummy half to Fakhri, to Yeri. Yeri's brought down. 15 inside the Bulls half. And Bradford, well, this defence immovable thus far. Meadows can't get past Webster. Webster, look at the determination. The drive from Jake Webster. He's heading towards the touchline. He's into touch. The referee says penalty. Oh, come on, man. We wanted a Gordon Tallis moment here in the final ever game at Odsal. It's a penalty to the Eagles. They're 8 for the afternoon. Supporters in front of us, Damien. They're shaking their head. Where was the momentum stopped in that? Penalty quickly taken by the Eagles. We'll get your thoughts in a moment. The 25 metres out. The Eagles have had the last 2 penalties. They're not giving up the ghost. There's 8 minutes remaining. It goes to Fakhri. Fakhri along the line, keeping the ball going to Esselmont. Esselmont's brought down in a 2-man tackle. 20 metres out. The sun's shining down here. First day of September, and the final game at Odsal. And the Bulls, 26-10 to the good. and Fakhri's lost the ball there in a collision, and now Bradford will go probing with Joe Keys. Joe Keys is away. Keys, electric pace. Keys, can he go the distance? He's still going. Keys, brought down by Greg Burns. That's tackle number 1. Burns has felled Keys 40 metres out from the Eagles line. Oakes goes in at dummy half, palms the ball on the short side to Evans. Evans back to Oakes. Now it goes to Green. Hallis is on for Wilde for the final 7.5 minutes here at Odsal. Hallis, risky pass to Lilly. Lilly offloads off the floor, finds Michella. Michella now to Evans. Evans to Farrell. Farrell centre field, finds Pickersgill. Pass is sticking here for the Bradford Bulls. 12 metres out in front of the post. It goes to Steve Crossley. Crossley's caught on the shoulder. Quick play the ball. Hallis is brought down, and it's a penalty because Hallis has been caught high, and Bradford now have their 11th penalty of the afternoon, and the referee will stop the clock because Hallis has got entangled there with James Thornton. Thornton retreats back the 10. Hallis is going to tap it right in front of where the referee points the finger and says, that's your mark. And Hallis gives it to Green. Green, was that a tip tackle? I think they just released the legs as he was going above the horizontal. And it's another penalty to the Bulls. And it's getting a little bit fiery out there. John Keir says, keep the pressure on. 12 penalties to 8 in favour of the Bulls now. Crossley tackle 1. Hallis to Lilly. Lilly out wide. Evans is in. Evans is in. A beautiful cut-out pass by Jordan Lilly. It missed 6 Eagles defenders. And Reece Evans, he's crossed. Try number 4 of the season. The 6th of the afternoon for the Bulls. And it is 30 points to 10. That is game, set, match. The Bulls are going to win.
Oh, it is, Mick, and it's funny, you see the shackles have come off a little bit here by the Bulls and feeling very comfortable and confident now within themselves towards the back end of this game. And players are starting to play their natural game and play it very, very well. I hate to harp on about it, but Brandon Pickersgill, his line there is there was some broken play running. They were looking to just straighten up the attack a little bit. And he ran a beautiful straight angle on a short ball off the hip there, just to settle that attack and straighten it up and really drive into the Sheffield Eagles defence. It's the best he's played for a long time, Pickersgill, here today in this second half. Sure enough, it came as soon as I said at half-time that maybe Ethan Ryan needs to get into fullback to try and give some impetus. But Pickersgill has come out here and he's played a 10 out of 10 game in this second half. Very strong on the high ball, very direct in his running, very confident in his running, robust and excellent. Some great play, some great free running play there. As we see Lilly taking the kick there from the right, was it? And he's missed that off to the right. Joe Keys just stood up after that lovely break he made and he ran like a centre three-quarter, cutting on the inside. It was like Steve Rogers at his peak. Beautiful to watch. And he got a big tackle nearly right there in the centre of the pitch. He just came up a little bit gingerly from it. Looked a little bit rattled, so I hope he's okay. That he's not kicking, that worries me a little bit. Maybe he's just pulled something or looking, he's a little bit under the weather. He's still on the pitch. He still looks okay. But Lilly wasn't able to convert there as the Eagles now look to restart. 4 minutes 36 remaining on the clock, and it's 30 points to 10. All Bradford Bulls, the final section of this second half, Mick.
Well, they've not announced the crowd here, Damien, and I'll wait to see if they announce it. But I've just been texted by one of my friends who works up there in the control room. But I just want to make sure it is correct. Does that look right to you without saying it? Great attendance. We'll just see if they announce it. But we've got 5 minutes remaining here at Odsal. Bradford leading by 30 points to 10. And Bradford, they're hungry for more points. Lilly was given the chance to take that conversion, by the way, because he is one conversion away from 100 successes. So that is why Keys handed the ball to Jordan Lilly. And it has to be said, a great crowd here at Odsal as Bradford go probing for more points down the middle. Hallis to Lilly, the two Stanley juniors connecting well. Last tackle on the restart. 4 minutes remain, 30 points to 10. It goes out for Hallis to Keys. Keys kicks down the middle. Webster's chasing it. Webster. Can Meadows get out? Meadows can't get out. Great kick from Joe Keys. and Webster. Well, let me tell you, that was like the cat chasing the mouse, and the mouse has been caught in goal. Repeat set of 6 for the Bradford Bulls.
Yeah, look, they're on a roll here, the Bulls. They're looking for more points. It was good play there, I've got to say. Meadows has had a cracking game here for Sheffield Eagles. He's been everywhere. He's been tidying up. He's been creating new impetus in attack for them, and he's played a very good game. Did very well there to nearly get out. As Peltier back on for the final few minutes. A robust run there from Peltier. Does that mean Green is off the pitch? It does, to my eye. So he'll have to find that try next week if he wants it, Mick.
Bulls move the ball down the middle. They're looking for more points. 7,500 in attendance here at Odsal Stadium as Lilly is brought down 10 metres out. It's touched the Sheffield arm. That is parried back towards the Eagles line. So no complaints from me, and the Eagles in their black shirts, they will move the ball out of their own 20-metre line with Josh Guznek on this main stand side. Blackmore straight out of dummy half, brought down by Peltier and Mitchell, but he's managed to offload the ball just as he was going to ground, and he's found Ryan Miller. Miller's on the halfway line. Miller, tackle, complete. Push back in the field of play, and I'm not a fan of what Fakhri's doing there. Stood in front of the play, the ball, arms out open, as if he's waiting for some divine inspiration and having a word with the referee. Where's the penalty? The Eagles have lost the ball from Menziere backwards, picked up by Fakhri. Here goes Fakhri. Fakhri against Pickersgill, and Fakhri has offloaded the ball to Steve Crossley. So 7,531 the attendance here at Odsal this afternoon. A fantastic attendance to see Old Lady Odsal off, and the Bulls now have just come up with an error from Steve Crossley with 2 minutes remaining. Damien, you've got to pick 4 players for the Bulls live man of the match.
Yeah, it's a tough one today. Again, very hard to see the standouts because there's been a lot of good performance across the park, but I have to go with Brandon Pickersgill. He has to be one of the 4 there. Jake Webster has had a fantastic game as well. I can't go past Jake Webster. Although he was a starting prop forward, and we've mentioned him a lot in the call of the second half. James Green has to be in there, as well, up for debate. It's hard to find that last one, but I'd have to say Joe Keys at 6 has had a tremendous game in the halves there. So I'd go with Brandon Pickersgill, Jake Webster, Joe Keys and James Green. 4 choices there for our listeners to message in.
There we go. Sheffield probing on this main stand side. Webster's caught Farrell. A 9th penalty awarded to the Eagles, and the final 60 seconds here at Odsal Stadium is going to see the Sheffield Eagles look to put a bit of pressure on this Bradford Bulls try line. At the moment, the final ever try scorer will be accredited to Rhys Evans, so the Bulls, they'll want it to be a Bradford man who has scored the last point here at Odsal Stadium. 50 seconds remaining. Crossley races out of that defensive line with Hallis. Guznek brought down. Here goes Brown. Brown now to Broadbent. Broadbent, he's wrapped up in a free-man tackle, and he looks to offload the ball. But Ross Peltier, he's not allowing that pass to be taken, and he will get to his feet and he'll play the ball 15 metres out from the line. The hoots are about to sound. Full time here at Odsal Stadium. The Bulls, the curtain has come down on Odsal Stadium. 7,531 spectators in attendance. An emotionally charged afternoon. It has finished 30 points to 10. Supporters high-fiving, embracing one another. Handshakes are played.